it rolls off the tongue, what have you. So
Yeah,
what
like
made you go ahead?
yeah, like I wanted a little bit more powerful of a name.
Yeah, because even to the point that when you think about if you deal with companies that do, let's say, DVD covers and shit like that,
Hmm.
do you think about the name that's on there? It's called the name test. It's funny that one of my favorite podcasters in wrestling and personality, Jim Cornette, said it's the name test. And what it is such and such, like, you'd be like Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes, you know.
Hmm.
Well, now WWE is Braun Breaker versus Gunther, you know. It told us how, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
the name test. And that's why I tell you, in a female, you either have a two name fictitious or a one name and something that's easy to be Googled.
Yeah.
And you can't misinterpret it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I had gone through a few different names, like made like a list of names that I really liked, and I just kept coming back to Celeste Sin, and I was like, yeah, that's where I'm feeling the most like at home.
I mean, you did set the precedence with the blasphemy scene, so
That's true. That's true. I
I
didn't even think
mean,
about that.
because Luna, it's like when you think of Luna, you think bratty, you think you get what I'm coming from,
Hmm. Yeah, like
but
maybe a little
it's
softer.
yeah, it's you don't do soft porn. No, that's
Right.
not your brain.
No, you're so right. Yeah.
You know, period. And so seeing kind of make this, it kind of makes sense. How does the fan base react to it?
Everyone has really loved it. I haven't had any kind of like weird or negative comments about it. Everyone's like really, really loved it. I've only had a couple of people like not be able to like find like my fan sites because I've changed my
Mm-hmm.
name, but I've put some things in place to like kind of help people find me if they look for that old name too. So
Yeah,
it's
because
been
see,
pretty good.
that's the hard part of when you rebrand yourself and rename yourself or what have you,
Hmm.
is changing everything over to fit the name. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, or what have you, even to design of what you might put on your site or your header,
Yes.
and everything. Um, are you glad that you did this earlier in your career? Because sometimes people do it late in their career.
Yes, I do. I kind of wish I had done it a little bit sooner, but I am glad that I've done it like now versus way later when I've done like, worked for companies or anything like that where my name is even more out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I did I there were a few things that like I didn't like even realize or think about like with my rebranding, like I have to get new business cards now. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot about that and like just like little things where it's like, oh crap, like that also had my old name on it. I gotta fix that.
See, but see, the thing of it is, it's like sometimes you have to change up something. It's called a.
Hmm.
I said this. I had a whole episode where I discussed this. Females had to sometimes reassess themselves, business wise, and their image,
Yeah,
um, because the smallest tweak make the biggest difference.
absolutely.
It,
Yeah.
it could be as simple as changing your hair color, changing your name, gaining weight,
Yeah.
losing weight.
And
You
see,
know.
I've gone through a lot of like those changes like in the like since I've moved to Vegas, I have slowly kind of like transformed like who I am as like a
Mm-hmm.
porn performer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've dyed my hair. It's totally different. I've changed my name. I have a new body type. I'm like, I do definitely feel like I'm a different creator than I was when I first started. So it's kind
Well,
of fun to like remake this person who I am.
yeah, because I mean, every now and then you have to reinvent yourself
Yeah.
to, and that's with any artist. You know, period. When you think about even with music, you had Marvin Gaye. He was the type R&B that he did, and then he decided to get
Hmm.
a little bit more serious with what's going on or what have you, or you know, a female that might be in porn. She was doing the role play shit, and she decided, okay, let me start doing BDSM.
Yeah.
And guess what? You know what I'm saying? Or as simple as, like, I remember the conversation with Missy Stone. She was wearing her hair straight. One day she walked in, wore it curly, and we see where she at now. So,
yeah. The
you know,
little things, yeah, can just kind of change everything, like in a good way or a bad way, but it's always fun.
So, speaking about changes, now you also have went through a metamorphosis physically. You have done a procedure to well, I guess, to tighten up and enhance a little bit here and there stuff that you were doing. So tell us about it or what have you, and what do you think of people that look down upon women that do that?
Okay, so I got a Brazilian butt lift procedure. So they will do lipo, like on your stomach, on your back, and then transfer some of that fat into your butt and your hip area. I do know a lot of people look down on that kind of stuff, and like honestly, I am like super about body autonomy. Like if somebody wants to do body mods, if they're not hurting anybody else or, you know, causing themselves like to go to the hospital or something, like I don't see any problem in it. It's not, you know, it's nobody else's business. And in the industry that, you know, we're in, you know, it's definitely not as looked down upon. So it's like it's much more accepted and kind of sometimes almost encouraged. But you know, people in like my personal life have all been super super supportive and have really just been like curious and like think it's kind of cool. And I haven't gotten a ton of negative remarks, but I do see people how they talk about, you know, celebrities who get that kind of work done or whatever, and it's like, you know, if they think that, but you know they're jacking off to it. You know they are.
Now, one of the conversations that I've heard when it comes to body modification, what have you, and yes, men do get it. I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, same.
Give it 100. But that the misconception of people is saying that you don't like your body, you self-conscious, you depressed, that, you know, bullshit.
Yeah.
But one podcast was saying that he talked to some older women. They said, well, we have options now that we didn't have back in the day.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I didn't inject anything foreign into my body. I didn't get any kind of implants or silicone injections, which there's nothing wrong with those at all. But I did, you know, choose a procedure that was going to use my own fat, my own body cells to like kind of create and sculpt like my body. And, you know, I made a pretty decent like career for the last 4 years with the body that I had, being a chubby creator. I mean, hell, for the first 2 years I was on MiniVids, I was the most loved chubby creator on the site. My videos had the most likes out of any other chubby content creator. So I definitely like, you know, learned to love like the curvy body that I had. And even still, I'm still thick. Like I'm definitely not a super skinny girl by any means, you know, now after having
I have no complaints from what I'm like, damn, okay. It's no, because let's keep it 100, because we keep 100 on my show, you know that, especially in the smoke room. It puts you in a different market and it puts you in a different light.
Exactly.
Because we know that in Hollywood, especially on the point on the level that you might want to try to achieve, you have to have a certain body type for them to look at you.
Right.
Or give you the chance, you know, period. Because even to the point that where one, they starting to open up about girls being tatted. So that's one thing. Plus, where you fit in, you're in the alternate realm, so you really didn't got to worry about it so much. But like I said, it's because you have a certain body type, because you have a certain look, now it opens up a little bit more doors. And that's fact.
Yeah, and I like kind of had this moment of realization where it's like when I kind of decided I wanted to shift from